Hey, Craig, how's it going?
Hang it in there.
Oh, I'm hoping I keep my connection. No promises, so. But that's why I'm gonna let Susan run the meeting. Here's where I am.
Oh, you poor thing. That looks miserable. I'd show you my view, but all you would see is a kitchen.
Oh, man, we've had a hell of a time getting on this boat and everything. But we made it, so get it out of the way. But hopefully we start on time. How's Allison doing?
She's doing pretty well. She's just isolating. I'm hoping I just gave the kids some snacks, so hopefully they stay quiet and enjoy the cartoon show they're watching for the next 30 minutes while we get through this.
Now, she's staying away from the kids?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm still testing negative right now, so I'm fine. Kids are fine, so we're just playing it safe.
I didn't know if the kids would be more susceptible, being their, the fact they'd come so early. So,
yeah, pediatrician didn't seem to be too concerned. Just gave us some precautionary steps to follow, so that's what we're doing.
Okay, good. Found a coffee place I like up here. I wish we could get them to Everman. Unfortunately, it's the only place they are here and in Ireland.
Wow.
Sure makes you thankful for Everman when you come down and see some of this stuff in Seattle. Just all the graffiti and the tent set up, and seeing a police officer threaten to take one of them to jail the other day. And you pass them, they're smoking pot on the streets, and I guess it's legal here. I don't know, but it just
I don't
there's a lot of mental health issues walking the streets around here. Me and Belle had to get a COVID test done. We ended up having to pay $500 to get it done.
Wow, that's a hefty test. Jeez.
Well, you can't get one. The free ones, you can't get them because everything's booked solid. So we didn't have a choice. It's either that or we just get on the plane and go back home. But
are we ready? All right, I'll call this meeting to order. Okay. Regular meeting to be held by the City Council on Tuesday, September 14th, 2021 at 6:30. I'm going to call the meeting to order. I did that. We're going to have the invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody please stand. Moment of silence. All right. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let's get this going. All right, the first thing up is the consent agenda. We have the reading of the minutes from the previous meetings, July 6th, 2021 work session budget workshop meeting. Also the July 13th, 2021 regular meeting. And finally, the financial reports for August 2021.
I'll make a motion. We approve consent agenda A and B as read.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Do I hear any discussion? Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Place one,
Aye.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
place 5.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, next up on the agenda is citizens' comments.
I'm sorry,
Yes,
Mindy, Miss Allen is present online, but she cannot vote, just FYI. And I wasn't sure if we'd covered that before the meeting started. I just wanted to make sure Miss Allen knew we weren't jumping over her for no reason.
I'm aware, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
thanks, Chief. All right, any citizens' comments? Okay. Discussion items tonight. Number 1, Scenic City Certification Program Workshop, and that is item 21173. All right, who's up for that? Chief?
Ma'am. First off, good evening, everybody. I'm sorry if you see me go on and off camera. I'm muting my mic. I'm taking care of the 2-year-olds. They seem to be good right now, so hopefully it stays that way. So I apologize for any shouting you may hear in the background. I was able to obtain the application. The application is a roughly 26-page application. I believe Mindy was able to print those and provide those to you. Miss Allen will make sure to get a printed copy delivered to you. The application is fairly thorough and goes through the roughly 11 different categories that the Scenic City certification covers. It covers everything from utilities to signage, beautification. I think the best way to go about working through this program is to first share this application packet with you, ask you to please go through this and highlight the ones that stand out to you that you feel may be the most important that we would like to address first. Almost this entire program is ordinance based, meaning that all the requirements you're going to see in here are pretty much ordinances that the city council has to adopt. There may be ordinances in this program that you don't like at all, and that's okay too. Just make sure that we indicate those and talk about those. I think this will be an item that'll be on the next several council work sessions that I'd like to start working through so we can identify what the priorities of council are going to be and then start working on drafting those specific ordinances for your consideration and adoption. There are roughly 3 months left before the application process opens. The application process itself is roughly 3 months. So we have about 6 months to start working through these and adopting the ordinances that you feel are the most appropriate. There is no way that we would be able to adopt every single ordinance outlined throughout this entire program. There are just way too many. So that's why I'd like to start with what your preferences are, what appeals to you as council members the most, and go from there. So we're not going to go through any of these in detail tonight, but I just wanted to share this with you and let you know what the plan was. And starting next month at the work session, we'll start working through these and identifying which ones you feel are the most important. Any questions?
Is there a minimum number that we have to adopt?
Yes, not a minimum number of ordinances. There are some that are absolutely required, which we will start working on those and checking. We may already be in compliance with some of those, but it is percentage based, and I'm looking for that page number. It's within the application itself. Just a second.
And what is the cost for this?
$750 for the application. Now that does not include, there will always be cost associated with drafting and approving ordinances. There's attorney fees and things with review, but all that is already within our budget. And we were well under budget this last year related to legal fees for ordinances. So I don't have any concern about going over budget this year on approving and implementing these. So on page 4, it talks about at the bottom of page, I'm sorry, about the middle of page 4, it talks about the different levels of certification. There's platinum, gold, silver, bronze, and recognized. And it's based, each level is based on a percentage of possible points, each ordinance being a certain number of points by their standards. So we'll work up a calculation and see. I think at first our goal should just be recognized, and then we start to work up from there as we move forward into the future. Again, I think this program is more so a good roadmap for us for a beautification effort. Related to the beautification effort, we're doing all sorts of other things to improve the scenery in the city, such as improved roadways and beautification projects. We've taken a different approach, newer approach with code enforcement. And an officer just got his license this week and is now going to be assisting our code enforcement officer with the enforcement of all the codes throughout the city. So we should see a heavier enforcement there. And we're going to continue to try to do things that'll make our city more attractive.
Excellent.
Hey, Craig, could you compile a list of things that we're already in compliance on?
I have not yet, but we're going to. I was hoping to get that done before tonight. However, some other things came up. I just didn't get a chance to do that, but we will have that before the next work session.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thanks.
Yes.
Anything else? All right, we're going to move to discussion item number 2, review master service agreement with Cobb Findlay and Associates, Inc., which is item 21170.
Master service agreement, this is slightly different from a contract. What a master service agreement is just authorizing us to utilize the services of Cobb Findlay and Associates Incorporated. More specifically, the consultant who's been assigned to us and recommended by our law firm is Aaron. The Madam Secretary, Ms. Parks, and our Director of Public Works, Gilbert, had an opportunity to meet with that consultant face-to-face yesterday and begin kind of doing an overview of the project. All of this is related to implementing impact fees. The first step will be a review of our capital improvement plan, and Mindy, step in here if I'm wrong at any time, but a review of our capital improvement plan, and it will need to be overhauled quite a bit. The driving force for the fee amount is the capital improvement plan, so there needs to be specific studies and capability studies done in order to implement these fees. So that's where we're going to start. The final page of this, the last 2 pages, the attachment, will be filled out after council's approval, and it will be filled out to the point of work that needs to be performed to achieve the impact fees. So there will be several different attachments once this master service agreement is completed. It'll be things such as studies related to water infrastructure, studies related to street infrastructure, development of the capital improvement plan, development of the future land use plan. So there will wind up being several different attachment A's when this is all said and done. The attachment A does not need to be approved tonight, just the master service agreement. Their fees are outlined in that attachment. Those are just their general fees, hourly rates, depending on which person we'll be working with. I provided you the rough estimate in total last week of $60,000 in order to implement these. That rough total is still accurate as of right now. So we're just going to be asking for council's approval on this tonight. This is just a generic master service agreement. It does not obligate us to use any of their services. So if for some reason something changes within the next couple of weeks, we are not happy, we don't want to utilize their services, we are not contractually obligated. This is just a master service agreement that outlines what their services will be.
And also, I just wanted to add that we could potentially use the ARPA funds to cover these expenses.
That's right. I read
It's
that.
not
That is
going to
correct.
be, it is not going to be affecting the budget.
We're going to use what now?
The ARPA funds to
Okay.
pay for this.
Okay. So we need to approve it.
This
Not till we
just,
get down
there's a separate agenda item for
Yeah.
approving. This is just
Okay.
discussion right now. So if anybody has any questions or concerns about the master service agreement, I'm happy to answer them. The consultant will be appearing before council on multiple occasions as we go through this process, working with you on developing an appropriate CIP and conducting the studies. So council will certainly have an opportunity to meet him here in the near future.
All right. Does anybody have any further questions for Chief?
No.
Okay, that is the last discussion item. We'll move on to new business, consideration and possible action. Number 1, consideration and action to approve master service agreement with Cobb Findlay and Associates, Inc. for the purposes of conducting capital improvement studies and the implementation of impact fees This is item 21170. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve item 21170. As
Second.
read.
Got a motion and second. Do I hear any discussion? Excellent. Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Place 1.
Aye.
Place 2.
Aye.
Place 4.
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right. Number 2, an item very dear to my heart. Consideration and action to approve authorizing the city manager to plan and coordinate a citywide cleanup day to be held within the months of October or November. Item number 21172.
So last week, we had the Waste Connections come out and visit. And there was also a citizen here who had filed a complaint, essentially a verbal complaint with me regarding some of the code issues and mentioned that he felt, and I know this has been discussed before amongst council as well, he felt that since we stopped doing the bulk trash days here within Everman, that he has seen a decline in the beautification of the city. There just hasn't been that opportunity. So I talked with Abel, who's the manager with Waste Connections, and he advised me as a part of our contract, and I was not aware of this, but as a part of our contract and agreement with Waste Connections, they will actually do this for us at no charge. One time a year, they will provide us with 2 roll-off dumpsters at a site with a driver that will be there to haul the roll-offs off, empty them, and bring them back. As we all know, there's been flooding complaints and issues along the creek. So what I think I would like to do with council's approval is just organize a citywide cleanup day. Give all the residents an opportunity to bring any bulk trash up to the site that we'll have most likely up at Pittman Park on the north end by the football field. And then also try to recruit organizations and groups of roughly 10 to 15 people and assign them different areas within the city to just go out and collect trash and pick up. I would also like to recruit the help of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office and their work group that comes out and just have a citywide pride cleanup day throughout. And I think that'll be beneficial to us, and we'll see a lot of improvement from that. Abel did get me in contact with the person at Waste Connections that organizes those. And currently we have every weekend in November as an option. So we can pick any weekend in November that council feels would be most appropriate. And that should give us plenty of time to start advertising this and seeing if we can't get different organizations to come in and help be a part of this and clean up our city.
Not the weekend after Thanksgiving.
No, ma'am, I wouldn't recommend
Just
that.
say it.
I would recommend, due to weather, I would recommend early November, just so we can
Yes.
try to get ahead of
Yeah.
any of the winter weather that we might have.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been asking for this for years. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We used to do it.
I like the fact it's no cost.
Yes, I
Yes,
can't
I
believe
like
that.
that.
Those things are expensive. Thank you, Waste Connections and our contract.
So I'll make a motion. We approve item 21172 and set a date,
Do we need to set a date now?
not today, but set a date at our next meet. No,
Well,
But
whatever.
we can move with November the 6th. That is the first Saturday in November, if council feels that that's appropriate.
Let's go with that.
okay.
Yes.
I'll make a motion. We approve item 21172 with a date set of 6th November,
Excellent.
2001.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do I hear any discussion?
Will there be an outline, a guideline for as what we can put up there or instructions?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to get this in front of you as soon as possible because we are working on getting the next newsletter put out. It'll go out with this next water bill. So we wanted to make sure to include all that information in there with a flyer that had all the details about what they can and cannot bring and how it has to be collected. I will be working with Gilbert, our Director of Public Works, to have our city staff out there to assist any residents that bring items up and getting them from their trailer into the dumpsters and those sorts of things. So we'll have city staff there to assist. And we'll make sure to put out a lot of material, educational material on what they can and cannot bring.
All right. All right, any more discussion? Mindy, would you poll the council, please?
Place 1,
Aye.
place 2,
Aye.
place 4,
Aye.
Place 5.
Aye.
Place 6.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, number 3, final item under new business. Consideration and action to approve the budget amendments as presented by the finance director, item number 21174.
And you could disregard that. That has moved to the next work session for discussion.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Moving right along, move to the next work session. All right, that brings us up to question, statement?
Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes,
just a matter of order on the next statement, on the next items that are executive session.
yes.
These are going to be, just so we can read it onto the record, they're going to be related to economic development agreement related to the property located at 400 Holly Street, legal description, Baker Edition, Everman, Block 8, Lot 12. So all you'll need to do is just reference that number and the numbers that Mindy has provided on the executive session, and we can go into executive session on these.
All right. So the next thing on the agenda is executive session. And it involves economic development agreement related to the property located at 400 Holly Street, legal description, Baker Edition, Everman, Block 8, Lot 12, item number 21171. So we're going to go into executive session at 6:47. So we need to have everyone,
Yeah,
do we leave or?
So, Mayor Pro Tem, if we can just have city staff can stay in. However, anybody from the public will need to vacate the chambers and we can just stay right here.
Okay. Thank y'all. We shouldn't be too long. I got a date with a good looking man.